My name is Mike. I'm from Mountain View, California.
Hi, my name is V. I'm from San Jose.
So V, how was it growing up in San Jose as a youngster?
As a youngster, man, honestly, like I'm not originally from California. I'm originally from Florida. I was born in Florida and I moved here after my fourth grade. In Florida, I lived in a trailer park that you probably don't know about me. It's yeah, I just lived in what they call like trailer trash.
How was the schools out there?
I got picked on, believe it or not. Right, I got picked on like when I was probably in my second or third grade. Kids were pushing me off like around on the school bus, like when we got off the school bus. Really didn't know how to take that.
Okay, okay.
I had a friend named Charlie, right? A
Charlie,
little bit, he was a little bit older. They're riding around the trailer park barefoot. That's crazy, bro.
like the Flintstones.
Oh yeah.
What made you move to California?
Well, my dad is he's a welder, right? Well, he's a welder by trade. And so in Florida, he was actually a supervisor and he had like 40 welders under him. And then after that, what ended up happening was he moved to California because my mom had some relatives out here.
Okay.
So he came out here and he started welding, you call those box trucks. You ever seen the fire trucks?
Yeah, yeah.
Where they have the fire chief trucks where they have like the metal boxes on the side.
Yep.
He actually welded those. So he went from making $4 an hour as a supervisor to working $16 an hour,
Nice.
right? And I want to say that was like I want to say 1990s somewhere around there, right? And he was like, "Dude, the money's good out here." So he left like my after my sister was born, maybe like a couple months after she was born. He moved out here and he moved out here first to see how it was like, and then he moved the entire family, right? And so that's why we came to California.
So were you scared coming to California?
It was kind of exciting, you're like,
Changing climate,
cha-
changing
you
everything a
never
little bit.
know. Just like we took a road trip. We sold the mobile home and then we got in a little like Volkswagen and we just drove out here. It took us like I think 7 days, like a week. Gasket broke. It looked like an 80s movie, I swear to God.
Damn.
We had to stop by at some place and then they had to fix it. AC or it was broken or something. We came out here and then we had to live with my relatives and it was tough. They had like my mom's cousin had 9 kids. And then they took on me, my sister, my mom and dad. We all stayed in one room. These kids were bad, man. I tell you.
Huh.
Just came into my room and just started taking my stuff. And they're like, oh, it's community now. Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
shock, actually. California is way different than Florida because Florida people, you get that southern hospitality. The people are nicer, right? I come out to California, everybody just cap it. They just make fun of you. People are rude to you. And then my dad actually, he's the one who actually taught me how to cap. He's just like, you know, I'd be walking around school and the kids would be picking on me like, what the fuck you looking at? And then my dad's, I don't know what to say to that. And then I asked my dad and he says, why don't you say something back? Like, what the fuck you looking at? Right? Shit like that. And so he kind of got me into like, talking back and, growing some balls and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Did that get you in trouble with any of the kids, like with the fighting and
Nah, not really,
no?
But my dad, since I was like a young age at 4, he actually taught me martial arts. He taught me like kung fu and all that stuff. And really, I didn't really get into my first fight until maybe I was like in 6th grade.
Yeah,
Yeah.
6th grade. That's a long time. I was fighting a lot, a lot sooner than that.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah.
Sixth grade.
6th grade.
Yeah. This kid in line, I was an 8th grader, right? Dad gave me $100 to get in line to go to the food line. And I guess his kid saw $100 in my hand. Slapped that out of my hand, fell on the ground, and he stepped on it. And I said, "Move your foot." So he dragged his foot and he dragged the $100 bill. I said, "This motherfucker." Fucking shoved him. And I jumped up and I socked him in the face. And the janitor had to stop everything, dude. The janitor just like, whoa,
Yeah,
whoa, whoa. Took us to the principal's office. A sixth grader fighting an eighth grader. Dude was tall. So, I mean, I was short. So, what I had to do, I had to jump up and sock him in the face.
that's wild. Yeah, no, I grew up in apartments in Mountain View, so just with my mom's. I have one brother. Um, a little wild and stuff. The apartments, we went from, I mean, playing marbles, football, basketball, riding bikes, rollerblades, and then caught a lot of fights over there. But the cool thing was because we all got together, we all knew each other. We'd fight one day, be friends the next day, and we went through different stages. And then it went from all that stuff to now people are tagging, now people are gangbanging, and it was pretty wild growing up in there. Fought a lot. There was this one guy that I would fight like at least twice a week and just, become friends. And I still talk to him to this day. Um, Pretty cool about that. Grew up, went to the schools over there, started getting into the gangs around like shit, fifth grade, sixth grade. Got into the neighborhood. After that, it was just downhill from there. I mean, I was 11 years old, first time going to juvenile hall for like a petty theft, a graffiti, and went in there gang banging, caught a little bit more time, and then just started doing stupid shit. And then with the stupid shit, just violating probation. Went to the ranch when I was like 11, 12. And then from 12, I failed the ranch twice out here in Morgan Hill for fighting. Went back to juvenile hall, got out, violated, went back in, and then I got sent out to Arizona Boys Ranch when I was 13. And I got sentenced for 3 years out there. Scared shitless, jumped on a plane, went out to Oracle, Arizona, and it was straight like boot camp style. Um, Fought a lot over there. It's a lot of crazy shit.
Let me ask you something. Your brother, you ever get into like shit with you or whatever?
Nah.
It's
So
just like totally black and white, day and
yeah,
night.
no, my brother had a different group of friends. Sometimes I chill with his friends, but he had a different group of friends. He would chill with them, but he know all the gangsters. But he never messed with none of the gangsters. Never drunk. He was into sports, particularly baseball, and so he kept up with that. But for me, I was just hard headed, trying to fit in, trying to find my identity and stuff, and trying to find out who I am. And so I was just fucking up.
Would you say you and your brother still close?
Yeah, I mean, we're good. We fought a lot.
But you guys fought each other then.
We fought each other all the way until I got out of Arizona.
And he's the older one, or
Yeah,
he's old.
he's 5 years older than me.
Now,
So
who usually comes out on top?
shit, it's been back and forth. I mean, there's times he's a pitcher for baseball, and so there's been times where like I'll run up, sock him in his face, and take off running, and he'll grab a rock, bust the back of my head open,
Damn.
And then there's times where just we fought so many times, and as soon as I came home from Arizona, that was it. We're like now brothers. We go to football games, call each other, say what's up. You know what I mean? Go out to eat and stuff like that. Not as close, but I mean it's cool. Yeah, no. Went out to Arizona. They ended up killing some kid out there, and they sent me back before completing the 3 years. And so I went back to a group home. Met my daughter's mom out of high school. Ended up having a kid at 16. And so between the time from juvenile hall to Arizona, back to a group home, and then getting out, had a kid at 16, had a man to fuck up, take care of responsibilities. So I ended up moving from Mountain View to South San Jose and chilled out there for a lot and just every day outside, just posted. Stopped messing around with a lot of that stuff. I would say close to when my daughter was like 5 or 6, and then just started working like crazy. I was working in the meantime, but started working more jobs. Always had like 2 or 3 jobs. Try to stack, provide, get the fuck out of that neighborhood because it was just like neighborhood I lived in. Negative energy every day was some shit, and it's like You get these guys that will bounce out, go to the youth authority for 2 years, come back and do the exact same shit. A lot of the shit straightened me up. Me having my daughter and stuff. So now I got something to live for. And so I just started straightening up, working a bunch of jobs, going through that struggle. And then it's like, I met you at work.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah, pretty interesting. Because for me, like, talking about you living in a bad neighborhood, I lived in a couple bad places. Like, well, right from the get, like from my cousin's house, and then later on, we're just like, we can't live here, so we moved. I went and lived in an apartment. So we lived somewhere in Berryessa, and then we lived over in there's a little crevice there. You'd never know. It's just like little ghetto, right?
yeah,
Interesting to me as a middle schooler, right? I want to say it was a she, and she got her throat from ear to ear, and it was a homicide, and yeah, it was it was a little crazy, a little wild, right? Like I hooked up, we started tagging, started claiming, repping, like
that's how it all
three
start
letter,
off.
three letter. Somebody else with a three letter from another school be like, "Hey, you got that 3 letters? We got the real 3 letters. What's up?" And then it was just like, "Oh man, is this what it's really all about?" And then got into high school, and then somehow I just found my way to the Asian gangs.
Yeah. Did it get worse?
Nah, I
I
wouldn't say it
mean,
got worse. It was just like I was just hanging out with them and I wasn't really involved. Like we were really doing bad things, right? There was this one time we went to a different school and this one guy, I'm not gonna say no names, right? He basically got me to go with him and he goes, "Hey man, we're gonna go to the school and we're gonna check out some girls, right? We're gonna go meet some girls." So I go with him, right? And the next thing you know, he just takes off running, right? We get to the school, we get out. I think there's like some big old commotion, right? And there was a fight. The guy that invited me takes off running this way. He goes, run. So I start running, right? Superintendent comes out and catches me. I'm like,
oh shit.
oh shit. They helped
Yeah.
me back. Yeah, my freshman year.
Yeah, no, I got into a lot of scrimmages through high school. I was bad in high school. One of the high schools, I went to Los Altos High School and lasted about a month. It was just fighting all the time. As soon as that was all done with the high schools and then going inside, coming back out to a high school, people looked at you differently and you have a different mentality. And for me, it was more like I'm not playing around. Like I'll put hands on you, and people looked up to me. Going to the high schools, you're just like, damn, the fuck am I getting myself into? 'Cause you're always running into the law and always, you know what I mean? Like, hey, what's going on? Or getting into fights. Going through all that, you have a better, still alive, a lot of lessons learned, a lot of knowledge from that. Shit, I hate fighting, but I fought so much. Me meeting you, we met at work,
Yeah.
and it was like, you know what I mean? We clicked because I think we had something similar, and growing up, we seen something in each other, so we started chilling.
I think what it was is like the thing that brought you and I together was that we had that grind mentality.
Yeah,
Right? Because
yeah,
I was working 2 jobs, full-time jobs. You were working 2 full-time jobs. And we're like, hey, why don't you come over here and work? It's money. And I'm like,
yeah,
hell yeah, let's go get this money.
yeah. When you told me, um, we got into that little. You asked me about the nightclub. Hey man, someone called off for the night. You want to cover? Make some cash? I was like, hell yeah. And then we end up in that closet, just kind of like fuck around and
All
grappling and
right,
shit.
all right, all right. Let's rephrase that that closet thing. All right?
Not like that, but
Not like that, right? All right. So we were working security, right? For corporate security. In this corporate security setting, right? There's this building where all the security officers, there's probably about 60 officers. These 60 officers, right? They all have to come to this one security closet room. And in this closet room, there's you get your radios, you get your uniforms.
but the radios, yeah,
Yeah,
no,
the
the little small room,
Yeah, it was a little small room. I want to say 12 by 5, I think.
yeah. So
Right.
I remember we at the end of our shift, we'll put our radios back.
The owner of the club goes, "Hey, do you have any extra guys? And I was like, I know just the guy. I know just the guy. Right. So come Monday morning, I go up to the eighth floor. Hey, Mike, you ever think about working the club like a bouncer? And he was like, yeah, yeah, I think so. I was like, yeah. Like, well, what kind? He were started asking me like, oh, is it an Asian club? I was like, nah, it's downtown San Jose. It's like anyway, it was black, white, Asian.
Well, the reason why I was asking because I did a lot of different settings, like executive protection, security at like events and stuff like that. So I was just trying to get that feeling. For me, I always been a big dude, so I have size on myself. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? If I have to squabble, I'm good with that. But you know what I mean? So I was just trying to figure that out and kind of like, okay, how's this go? You know what I mean? Because I never did it at a nightclub. You started breaking it down to me, and then I was just like, shit, I'm with it. Let's do this.
You know why I asked you? I was like, hey, show me what you got. Cuz. I was like, show me what you got. I was like, we get in the security room, and then I was pushing them like, hey, what you got? What somebody? What you got? We just throwing each other against the boxes and shit, breaking the boxes full of uniforms and jackets and stuff like that.
No, but the cool thing is like I appreciate that. That got me into something that I love doing. And I was just like, damn, working at the nightclub. I'm learning as I go the rules of engagement. I look up towards you for that guidance. And you were able to guide me, you know what I mean, into those situations where you're like, all right, cool. Cause every time that I'm on, you're on.
Yeah,
And it's so that one night that I end up covering, the manager or the owner was like, hey man, shit, want to work part time? I was like, hell yeah, I took that. And so, I mean, going through all those years, I mean, we put in 10 years out there, 10 years at a certain place. I mean, going through those trials and tribulations with the fights, with the stuff like that. You know what I mean? I think that built our relationship stronger, where it was like, man, I trust the shit out of you. I
yeah,
trust you with my life. And you know what I mean? I
yeah.
know I'm good with you. And the way I looked at it was like, hey, if we have to get back to back and get knocked out together, fuck, that's how it's gonna go.
I mean,
Yeah,
we,
that's
we pretty much like in this we kind of like set aside our differences, our backgrounds. It's like
yeah,
we don't really care about your history. It's just more like we're here now.
yeah,
I got your back, you got
yeah.
my back.
But I think the thing that clicked a lot also was our backgrounds, where we came from and how we grew up. Whenever we had issues with like, you know what I mean? They'd be like, hey Mike, can you go holler at him real quick? You know what I mean? And I had that better understanding. I know how to talk to them. I know how to, you know what I mean? Where it's like, hey, I'm gonna be thorough with you. I'm gonna be straight up with you. But the cool thing about the nightclub is like, hey, I don't have to have no filter. So I'm gonna tell you exactly how it is. And if you don't like it, you keep walking, or you know what I mean? We're gonna do something. And at first I was like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? We're just gonna do our thing. You know what I mean? We're trying not to fight. We gotta de-escalate shit. There's some points that we got over there where it's like, there ain't no de-escalating this shit. That shit ain't gonna happen. You know what I mean? Going up to somebody and it's like, hey man, you're doing some faulty shit. I'm gonna ask you to leave. Oh, I ain't leaving. You ain't gonna make me leave. So it's like, hey, well, I'm gonna let you walk out on your own, or I'm gonna get you out. Telling motherfuckers that it sucks, but it's like we got a job we gotta do. We gotta protect this spot. And so, and a lot of motherfuckers knew not to fuck with the spot. And it's like, you know what I mean? With your help, with everybody else, building that like kind of that foundation. I work with a bunch of solid motherfuckers. You know what I mean? I got nothing to worry about. If we here, we doing this shit. But the communication there, everything was on point. We went through some shit. I had your back the whole time. You had my back the whole time. That shit was great.
Yeah,
I mean, 10 years went by quick.
very quick.
Yeah, nah, I mean, the situations over there, I mean, some of the shit you only had seconds to react. I kind of look at it like boxers and fighters, they fight people in their category. Bouncers, they fuck with everybody
Yep.
and have that understanding where it's like, hey, I'd rather talk to you and de-escalate this issue, shake your hand, and you walk your way. I go back to work, or however you want to do it. But last thing I want to do is fight.
Yeah, like toward the end of our tenure, right? I like that because you kind of taught me, de-escalation. I'm not gonna lie, I like confrontation. I love confrontation. I like to fight.
Yeah.
I liked to fight. Now, as I'm older, I really like, I just want to chill.